welcome to the BWIO show. Today we have Anyeé, Caitlin, and Chandler, and we're going to start off with each person telling me about yourself and your voice.
I'm Anyeé Farrar, soprano. I'm 23. My gosh. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I'm based out of Cincinnati right now because I just graduated with my master's from CCM.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chandler Johnson. I am 26 years old. I am a tenor. Currently, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, at my parents'. Being a freelance opera singer has left me kind of homeless for a while since 2018. So I have not had a place to call my own. So I've just been traveling. But yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now. And I too graduated from the University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music, CCM.
Another CCMer. My name is Caitlin. I'm 26 as well. I just finished up the resident artist program at Pittsburgh Opera, which was unfortunately cut short because of COVID. But I am still here in Pittsburgh. And I'm a soprano.
Awesome. I'm Renee. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. I live in DC now, and I am also a soprano.
Nice.
Lots of sopranos.
Always.
So many. This is a tangent. Anyway, I was watching this meme where there was, like the gospel choir has like 1,000 altos and like 2 sopranos. It's like the opposite for opera. It's like 50,000. And then 1 or 2 altos. So let's start with you, Chandler. What made you interested in opera? Or can you tell me about a time where opera just clicked for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to Baltimore School for Performing Arts in Baltimore, Maryland. I wanted to do musical theater so badly. Like that was my passion. We had a development program for younger kids called Twigs. And so on, certain days I would sneak into the Twigs dance classes and start taking dance lessons. And I, really wanted to just do musical theater. And then my junior year of high school, my voice teacher at the time, Robert Cantrell, who still teaches there, said, I really think you should think about doing opera. And I was like, okay, I guess I like it. Yeah, sure. So he sent me home with the DVD of Verdi's Requiem with Leontine Price and Pavarotti. And I finished that DVD and I was just in tears. I was crying and I was so moved by what I had just heard. So that was my aha moment for opera for me, where I was like, this is what I want to do. So that's where it began, and that piece holds a special place in my heart always. So yeah, that's the beginning of the journey.
That is so beautiful. All right, Caitlin, same question. Can you tell me about a time when opera just clicked for you, when you just fell in love with the art?
Yeah, I feel like Chandler and I have so much in common. I also did a lot of musical theater and knew absolutely nothing about opera. I actually went to school for biology, hoping to become an occupational therapist, and just was doing the musical in college just kind of for fun. And that's when the music department, they were like, do you know anything about opera? I'm like, no. They're like, can you name an opera? I'm like, Carmen. Like that's literally it. And they were like, we think you just have this natural inclination in the way that you sing for classical music and opera. And I come from a loud Italian Long Island family, so I have a flair for the dramatic. So it really just clicked with both my personality and the way that I sing. The first opera I saw was Butterfly, which was amazing. It was, a great first live performance. And honestly, there was no one moment that I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. There was no like one defining moment, but instead many, many moments. And so I never have stopped and I've never looked back. I really love this art form.
I love that. My first opera was Butterfly too. And I was just amazed, like as a little elementary school person.
I remember sitting there and I was like, how do they remember all this music? And like that's still the struggle, like 10 years later. But I just remember being like, how is she doing that?
All right, Anyeé. Can you tell me about a time when opera just clicked for you and why you love the art?
Yeah, I mean, I started pretty early. I mean, most of my life I was an athlete. I was a 9-year competitive gymnast, and I played basketball. I ran track. I did taekwondo. I did it all pretty much. And like I had started dancing at the time, and I saw this poster for this performing arts high school that I ended up getting into. And I was like, Mom, I want to sing. She's like, you're not going to be like the next Alicia Keys or the next Beyonce. Like if you want to sing, we're going to do this right. And we're going to start with the basics. So classical music. And I'm like, that's boring. That's lame. I don't like it. Well, I took like a few lessons when I was in 8th grade, because I was in choir and honors band and drumline and everything. And I got in. I thought I sounded like trash. And I basically had started studying opera at 14 at this performing arts high school called the Governor School for the Arts in Norfolk, Virginia. And when I got there, I was not a fan. I did not like it. I just wanted to do like musical theater and dance and stuff, but my mom would not let me. And I saw my first opera. It was Rigoletto, actually. And I came in very late, and I saw the aria Caro Nome, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to sing what she's doing. So obviously I did not, because I was only 14. And my teacher told me, wait 10 years. And now I'm actually studying the aria, which is great. And but that moment for me was my junior year. We were auditioning for our opera, because we would do an opera every year, and this one was Hansel and Gretel. So obviously I was auditioning for Gretel, but I was a junior, was not expecting anything. Little did I know there were other things in play. And I got the role of Gretel. So excited, freaking out. I'm like, how am I supposed to memorize this? Okay, at least it's in English, so that's fine. And I fell in love with the rehearsal process. And like we were opening night, and I remember being so nervous. I was like backstage praying. I was doing push-ups. I just could not stop shaking. And I went out there, and I'm sitting at the little table, and the curtain comes up, the lights are off, and I looked out, I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is fun. I want to do this.
I love that. I feel like if you love the rehearsal process, then you just gotta love it, period. Because that is not nothing.
The rehearsal process was so much fun to me, because it was just so many opportunities to create and do, and it was so much fun. I loved it.
That's amazing. Thank you. All right, Caitlin, what are your future goals in the field? Like, what's your dream?
My dream, I mean, I think COVID has like made us all kind of stop and think like, what do we want? And I think it's kind of cool that even after having this break, this is still what I want to do. I feel like it could have definitely gone another way. So the goal, like the overall goal, is to just keep on singing, to just keep on doing the thing. But my dream, there's just a lot of roles that I would love to like check off the box. And in like the near future, there's a bunch of Handel and Mozart roles I'd love to do. And then in the far future, I can't say. No, I can't. I mean, I'd love to hit up some Verdi. We'll see. But yeah, that's the dream, is to just sing roles that like those ones that make you go, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to sing that. So.
Yeah, same over here. What about you, Chandler? What are your goals and what's your dreams?
Everyone that knows me knows that I have my hand in many pots. While I enjoy singing and I, think it is a passion of mine, I am also very interested in being on the other side of the table. I am kind of weighing right now where I want to go, whether that be artist management or casting, like becoming a casting director for a company. Um, I will say that, the voice has always been my passion. I love talking shop. I love, looking at new repertoire, helping people find repertoire that they might not have looked at, or they're like, oh, I don't know if I should try it. And, you know, putting unique voices in, unique repertoire is what I really enjoy doing. So, like I said, I have my hands in many pots, but ultimately either being an artist manager or being a casting director would be my ultimate goal. And, I see singing as being a way to get me to that point, but that's the long term.
That is so cool. Like, I love the passion you have behind saying that. This time is just so important because a lot of opera singers are bringing up the fact that there are not a lot of Black people on the other side of the table. So hopefully this time in history
and that's something
transformative.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think that that's something for me that I saw early on in my auditioning career process, however you want to look at it. But, as a young artist auditioning, and even younger than I am now, I noticed that there weren't people that looked like me on the other side of the table. And I always thought that that was a little strange because, I knew a lot of Black singers, but I didn't know, hardly any Black, casting directors, agents, general directors, or artistic directors. And so it really was a passion of mine to say, hey, how many of us are actually, behind the table, and, is there room for us to get back there and do, some of the background work? So so it's kind of always been my passion. I just have always put singing first.
All right, it's so cool. All right, Anyeé, what about you? What are your goals and your dreams?
Goals and dreams. Short-term goals and dreams, to sing Adina one day. I really want to do Elixir. I recently just fallen back in love with that opera. So I definitely want to do that again because that's what I'm working on during quarantine. And long-term goal dream is to do Rigoletto. I definitely want to sing some Gilda. Definitely want to sing some Lucia. That's really like a no-brainer for me. I love the high notes. They're very fun. What else do I want to do? I just want to be happy, and I want to be at a good place in my career where I can have the travel life that opera brings and have like family at the same time. I want to have both.
And you can do it because I see so many opera singers who are doing everything they want to do. So I'm excited. I love to hear about people's dreams and goals because it's just like just putting it in the atmosphere and just claiming it. So, when it happens, you'll be like, yeah, I did say that. I did say I wanted that. So that's awesome. So let's talk about the Black Voices Matter movement. I just want to know the history of it. How did they get started, and what does it mean?
Yeah, I'll start just so I can say how this GIF just like appeared. In the days following the murder of George Floyd, I was really struggling with how can I use my unique skills and what I offer to the whole world, not just the industry. How can I use those to support the Black community right now? And I wasn't looking for a way to replace protesting. I wasn't looking for a way to replace donating. I was looking for what is something unique to me that I can give? And it just wasn't coming to me, right? Like, we're singers, and it's like, my voice right now, it's not about my voice right now. I just want so much to give back and to do something. And I was having a day, I was in such a horrible mood. I felt like kind of like broken, right? And I put my phone down for a minute and I did my hair and makeup. We were just talking before this started that I do my makeup every day in quarantine. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, damn. And it was just like this like brief moment of like, I feel really actually like, I just had this like split second of feeling good, right? And I thought about how photography clients, they get that feeling when they leave the studio. The whole time I've been telling them how beautiful they are. And when they get their pictures and they love them, and when they post them. And I thought, what if I could give this brief damn moment back to my clients just for a minute, you know, no matter how short it is. And I thought, I want them to look at their pictures and like see themselves as like the beautiful, powerful, strong artists that they are. And I'm sure right now, nobody is looking through their gallery being like, oh, I look so good. You know, that's just, this is not the time for you to do that about yourself. So I invited my clients to submit a phrase that they might like for me to design a custom GIF. I call it GIF, not GIF. And I would design it on top of one of their portraits, A, so that their portrait reflected a cause that they cared about, and B, share a photo where they are standing in their power, honestly. And just so that they could just have a brief moment to say, here I am, kind of, and this is a phrase that is important to me. This is something that I want you to hear from me when you see my picture. And that was kind of where this idea came from, because I know people could be like, well, why does a GIF matter? You know, but it was just like combining these like thought processes. And so Anyeé requested for her beautiful pictures to say Black voices matter. And from there, it became pretty popular, that particular GIF, thanks in part to Anyeé for looking so gorgeous that was probably reposted a million times, and also Chandler for just like spreading it and seeing people like, put this in your picture, that sort of thing.
That's amazing. Anyeé, how did you come up with, I guess, that phrase? Like, what were you thinking?
Well, honestly, I was like, I had like turn off all my notifications for Instagram and everything, because it was a lot, and getting constantly like hit up like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, okay, great. I'm fine. I'm doing all right, when really, no, I'm not. And I was really looking to hear from like different opera companies and stuff, just to see like where they stand, even though like in the back of my head I kind of know where they stand, and it's unfortunate that way, but I get it. But I mean, I came up with it really because I didn't like when she had posted, everybody wants like a GIF, I'm making it, and I was like, I'm down for that. And I was like, but I didn't know what I wanted to put on it. I mean, I was like, Black Lives Matter. No, that's out. But like, no, I want something different. Cause like, I resonate obviously with the Black Lives Matter, but there's something else that I resonate with more, not more, but there's something else that I resonate with that isn't getting attention, that isn't being heard. So I was like, Black opera singers matter? No, that's a mouthful. So I went with Black voices matter, because I was like, that sounds better. It's shorter, it's not a mouthful, it's nice, it's not in your face. I like it. So I sent it to her and she made it, and they're amazing. Posted it on all my professional and my personal accounts. And then Chandler hit me up. And then obviously Chandler went to Caitlin, and next thing I know, it blew up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was a thing. Awesome. I love it. Cool. The more people, the better.
True. And Chandler, how did you feel when you saw it for the first time, and why did you feel so passionately about it?
So to go back and backtrack and to, I guess, tell my side of the story, yeah, like Caitlin said, she messaged her clients and was like, hey, I am willing to make a gift and put it on a portrait that we've taken, and just let me know what you wanted to say. And the first one I did, of course, was Black Lives Matter. And then I saw Anyeé's, and it moved me so deeply because it just made a statement instantly. Like, it made a statement, a bold, clear statement instantly. And so I messaged Anyeé and I said, hey, is it all right if I use your Black Voices Matter on my portrait as well? And she was like, yeah, sure, like, that's fine. And so I messaged Caitlin and I was like, hey, I want what Anyeé has on her portrait, and I want it to say Black Voices Matter. And Caitlin was like, oh my gosh, sure. And so I think, and everyone that knows me knows, I am huge on FaceTime. I do not call. I will either text you or FaceTime you. So I FaceTime Caitlin and I was like, hey, so this is pretty powerful. And I believe that more people should be involved and more people should, be able to use the GIF or GIF. I too don't know how to say it. And so she said, well, I can make it like accessible to other people. And I said, yeah, sure. And so what I started doing was asking my friends for Black and white portraits. And I said, hey, if you don't mind, can I like overlay this GIF on your portrait and, do with it what you want? But I believe it's important that the people that follow us on our social media platforms see that we are opera singers, but we are also Black opera singers. And the things that affect us in this field are, deaths of unarmed Black men and women. And companies need to recognize that when they hire us, they're not hiring us just for, ensemble or lead, but they're hiring someone that has, been through a lot of emotional trauma through the years, because everybody is affected by this. But Black singers are really affected by this because, just because we're opera singers, it doesn't stop these things from happening to us. It doesn't stop, the racial injustices and the systematic racism and, the microaggressions. It doesn't stop that for us. We still experience this on a regular. So, it was kind of like a sign of like, see us and see us for who we are, and that's kind of where it started for me.
I love that. I really do. I wrote an article, just like some basic book review on race studies, specifically, I guess, like just about how we got to this point, like the history of racism. And I think the important steps that we need to take to dismantle white supremacy. And one of the books that I reviewed was Black Opera. And she talks about in the text how the performance body is not a neutral zone, it's not a blank slate. And I thought that that statement was so powerful, because a lot of times when we're getting on stage, we're just supposed to just be this robot just producing this beautiful art, but it comes from a person with real lived experiences, and those experiences inform everything that goes on with them as they present this art to the world. So when I saw the gift, I just felt so empowered by it. I was like, okay, that is true. That is true. And just hearing you guys explain the story behind it, and the passion and the love and the protest, honestly, the placing yourself in a discussion and seeing how you can improve a condition for people who need to be heard right now. And that is really what blew me away about the campaign. And I'm just so excited to be talking to you guys about what it means to you. And I want to know now, like, what do you see happening with the campaign? What are your goals? What do you want people to take away from it?
I think that it can serve an extension to the conversation into the operatic field. And I think, I would love to hear more about what Anyeé and Chandler hope for it. But I know for me, a lot of my white friends and colleagues keep asking, like, what can I do? And it's like, well, you need to learn, and you need to listen, and you need to act. And the number one thing you can do if you believe that Black voices matter is listen. And there are people who are telling you what they want you to hear right now. There's LA Opera, the Lift Every Voice. There's the Still We Rise. If my colleagues want to know how they can help, the first step is to listen. And so it was interesting for me after those panels came out. To me, the GIF had a new and secondary meaning of Black voices matter on stage and off stage. And this is a very important time for us to be listening. So that for me, like, that kind of just came through in the last couple of days with those panels coming out. And I hope that is something that starts to resonate as well.
I think for me, I want this to go as far as it wants to go. I want it to reach the highest mountain that it wants to reach. As a Black male in opera, I have experienced so many different forms of racism, so many different forms of microaggression. And for me, it has been hard to see the different approaches that companies have taken in response to this. And, for companies to not use the word Black is very disheartening. And it really shows that we're not understanding the cause, because this is, at the moment, not a person of color issue. This is a Black issue. And when we ignore the word Black or African American or whatever you want to call it, it's almost as if you're ignoring the identity. And so Black voices will always matter. Black voices mattered with Cicely Jones. Black voices mattered with, Marian Anderson, and the list goes on. It started over a century ago, and here we are still asking politely to be heard on stage, asking for opportunities, asking for just the chance to, share our gifts with the world. And that's why I say I just think that it will go as far as it wants to go, and I will stand behind it fully, because Black voices do matter, and they always will. We just have to create a space to amplify those voices.
Beautiful.
I would say my hopes for this movement, like Chandler, is to let it go as long as it can, because they're very important. I've experienced my fair share of microaggressions in the rehearsals, and especially the ones that are directed towards friends that are of darker complexion to me. Hearing those microaggressions also really make my blood boil. So I just hope that something can come from this, and that it doesn't just fall on deaf ears. I feel like opera it's time to wake up. It's time to change, because we need the diversity. But there's no but. We need the diversity. We need to see people that look like us on stage, and not just the token, because we know what that is. And And I've been a token all my life, and I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of just not seeing myself on stage. Like when I got to CCM, I came from my undergrad and I was the only Black female. I was the only Black person for 2 years until one Black man came in a year under me, and then a Black kid came a year under him. Total of 3 Black people in the voice department. But again, I'm the only Black girl. So when I get to CCM, there's 4 of us all together and 2 in the year above. Like, I was like, whoa. Not the idea of like there are others, but it's just like I'm not the only one. Like that's never happened before. It's amazing. Honestly, I want nothing but good for all of them in this opera field, because all of our voices deserve to be heard. Our voices matter. And like, thankfully we're all like different voice types somewhat. We all deserve our chance to shine. And if this movement can make that happen for somebody else coming up behind us, then let's do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, running the page Black Women in Opera has really just helped me so much, because it just teaches me how many other people there are singing, how many different types of voices, how many different types of careers. Just it's always educating me and encouraging me that opera is not just something that I do and I'm the only Black person that do it. No, it's so many different people, so much of a rich history of Black involvement in opera. And I just love to share that knowledge with other people so they can just feel a little bit more encouraged, just a little bit, just keep going, keep singing, keep doing what you are put on this earth to do. So I really love Black Voices Matter, just because, you're giving people the opportunity to say so much. And that with the technology age, is so powerful to see that moving image that says Black, and then it says voices, and it says matter, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And I just love it. It's like my favorite thing.
That makes me very happy. I'm really glad that you like it and that it means something to you, and hopefully it means something to everyone who's used it. And if anyone is watching this and wants it, like, just send me a message, or Chandler. Chandler will probably message you.
Yeah, I know that's who I've seen. Like everybody's like thinking Chandler. like, okay, let's talk. So the last question is, if you could write an opera, what would it be about?
I would love to see Their Eyes Were Watching God. It's a powerful story, and I think it also has complex Black characters. It also features an all-Black community that built their own wealth in Eatonville, and I am just very, I don't know, I would just like to see it's a modern take on, where we are in society, but I think that it does portray a community of Black people with complex, rich, beautiful stories. So yeah, Their Eyes Are Watching God for me.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe in opera I could never ever create, but I would probably want to see For Color Girls on stage as an opera somewhere, just because I like the book, love the movie. I feel like that needs to be seen, and I feel like opera is scared of going that deep and dark, and I think it'd be a great thing.
Yeah, they got a lot of deep and dark stuff going on in opera, so that would be I would love to see that. All right, you last one, Caitlin.
I would write an opera about my grandparents' love story because it's a very intricate, wild story. It spans between America and Italy, and there was a broken off engagement, and then he took revenge and made sure that my grandpa couldn't enter the country. He had him labeled as a communist. It was like the ultimate revenge. And they ended up together, obviously, because I'm here. It's actually like a really interesting story. It's kind of hard for me to get all the details of the story because English is not their first language. But what I've heard and what I've understood is a really good story. So.
That sounds fun. Like, I would love to watch that.
Ooh, I love the drama.
I know.
It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. And both of them, like, I've seen pictures of them when they're younger. Like, they were both really good looking. So, like, I mean, is that weird to say about my Nono, like my grandpa? But they were both like good looking people. So, like, it adds to the drama that, like, it was like so like everybody wanted my Nona. And yeah.
That's a good story. It writes itself. You really don't. You don't have to even make nothing up.
That's funny.
That is funny. That's cool. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Each one of you guys, I'm going to just call you by name. Just tell me how we can find you and how we can find you. So, Anyeé.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I don't really use Twitter. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm like, I don't know. It's fun to like watch and follow my shows and stuff. That's what I use Twitter for, and for drama, love that. But I don't really use Twitter. So Instagram, Anyeé Farrar, SOP, and my personal email. My personal Instagram is lotusflower0696. Facebook, Anyeé Farrar. That's pretty much it.
All right, and Caitlin.
If you want to find my photography Instagram, it's my name, Caitlin Godimer, spelled like Go Timer. Caitlin Godimer Photography. If you want to find my like singing website, CaitlinGodimerSoprano.com. And if you want to find my my personal Instagram, which is like where I have posted any who tags me, GIF, if they tag me, I post it, so you can see them there under my personal Instagram page, which is Fit at Any Size.
I forgot to plug my website, Anyeé Farrar. I forgot.
I love it. Chandler, where can we find you?
My personal singing website is chandlerjohnsontenor.com. My Instagram handle is Chandom of the Opera, a play on Phantom of the Opera. So it's CHAND of the Opera. And my Facebook is just my name, Chandler Johnson, and I also have a fan page on there as well. So yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thank you so much, Renee.